Roughly in 4 weeks, we start introducing the broodstock into the ponds. We generally run everything in trios. That's how I breed. I don't care whether it's in a pond or whether it's in a vat or in a tank. I like breeding trios, and I like using density levels the best that I can. Here I said that we can't do river fishing, and we can't breed river fish in ponds, but we do take babies out, and once they're about 30 days old, because we can push a baby in a pond safely from 1 inch to about 3 inches in 90 days.
Triple hate.
Now there's other methods we use here. Sometimes if we don't want babies to intermix or we got really rare stuff, we'll use these floating rafts that we made up. It's basically screen that's underneath of the PVC structures that we have made here. Now could you lift this up just here for me, please?
I'll give you guys a detail on
that's much better.
AKA the librarian who wants to stalk me on the internet.
And you can see this happens to be an old fish called the jaguar, Maniguensis. And we would grow them out in these particular pools, in these particular nets. Now there's other breeding methods. This is cage culture. You can see dovi in there, some big old 18-inch ones. And we didn't want the dovi breeders or the large piscivore breeders to be in the pond because they would eat so much of the production. I can maintain around 10,000 babies in a pool if I don't have the breeders in it, and we can literally breed that in about 2 to 3 weeks' time.
Wow.
These structures are floated. You can see the styrofoam that supports them. And we'd put in pots there, just plastic pots like that come from nursery centers. And they would generally lay the eggs on the outside because they were too damn big to go inside. And then we float them back down to the ponds, and we'd leave them in there for about 3 to 4 weeks, and then we would move the cages into another pond. Feeding. Our feeding changes because of metabolic rates from time to time. During the summer, we feed copiously. Meaning 3 to 4 times a day. In the winter, we have to cut it down because our metabolic rates are greatly reduced because of the temperature. I use so many different types of food, and I've tried everything in the world. The main thing I'm finding with foods that no one has done, and recently we've just done it, is for basically riverine fish. And some types of alonicaras and tanganicans, our protein is so high that you find in our commercial foods. I mean, I think it's all the way up to 44% I saw on some of the stuff. But the thing to realize is in nature, about 60% of even what we call guapote or predatory fish, 60% of their gut is still detritus, made up of algae, leaves, fruits, decayed trees, bark, everything in the rivers. So we've created a food that we're getting roughly 14% fiber and around 22% protein, rather than the standard food that you can commercially find, which has around 4% fiber and roughly 35% protein. We feed the edges of the pools. This is where the breeders are. They stay in the caves that are underneath the banks. We use pellets for the large fish, and we use pond meal for the small fish. And we throw that powder into the middle. Yeah.
Can I interrupt you for a minute?
You sure can.
I'm sorry to interrupt the talk.